All right, we'd like to welcome Mackenzie Hughes, defending champion of the Sanderson Farms Championship, into the media centre. Mackenzie, thanks for joining us. Just coming back here to defend a title after winning in a playoff against Sepp Straka last year. What's it like to come back and defend? You've done it once in your career, but this is the second time.
Yeah, it's a nice place to come back to. Obviously, great memories, and I played the back nine today, so kind of reminisced a little bit, kind of walked back through some of the shots I hit last year, and you don't have too many of those moments to look back on, really, because I've won the RSM and I've won here, and so it's really special when you have those those places you go back to that you've claimed victory, and this one's no different. Every time I walk on this golf course now, I'm reminded of that. So it's great to be back.
Have you been out on the golf course today? Have you seen any changes at all, or condition-wise, of what it's like compared to last year?
Yeah, no, the course looks great. I played the back nine today, and it looks awesome. I think every year we're kind of spoiled out here. The greens are always fantastic, and the course is in great shape. So no different than years past.
A lot of changes on the PGA Tour lately. One of the big things is the next 10, which it's a little bit difficult to explain, but obviously the next 10 at the end of the season through RSM get into the first two signature events, Pebble Beach and Genesis, and you're number 51, and that next 10 will be the 50 to 60 at the end of RSM. You're number 51 right now. You've got a number of tournaments in the fall to retain that position. How much will that be on your mind while you're playing through the fall?
Certainly when I get asked a question, it'll be on my mind. I've thought about it, but I think for the most part, I'm just trying to play some good golf this fall and get some momentum heading into next year. Whether I get those two events or not is not going to make or break my year, but certainly it would be nice to be in those events. But like I said, if I just focus on me, play some good golf, hopefully that takes care of itself. But I'd like to get in the mix and see if we can try and pick off another win.
You played the Fortinet, the first event of the fall series. Obviously had a few weeks off. What have you been doing with your time?
Yeah, there's not been a ton of golf, but I've stayed busy. I've got 3 kids, so relaxing at home is not something that is in my vocabulary right now. Very active with my kids starting school and different sports and activities. So I've been a bit of a chauffeur the last 3 or 4 weeks at home, which has been fun to be part of the school drop-offs and pickups and be there for all that kind of stuff. So it's been nice to be home and relaxing, but it's also been pretty busy too.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take some questions. If you have questions, just raise your hand and we'll get you a microphone, and we'll start with Brody.
Talked a bit about reminiscing, playing that back nine. Just how much do you kind of remember that feeling of getting that victory, and how much does that kind of drive you in tournaments now to kind of get back to that?
Yeah, definitely. I remember, basically every shot I hit from that last round, and I could probably go through the whole tournament, but specifically that last round, there was lots of memorable moments and shots, and playing the back nine today, it was just nice to relive those things, and it's a feeling that you want to have more often, and that's kind of what I was alluded to earlier, is I just want to play some good golf and get myself in position to feel those things again, and because that's what we all love to do the most, is to compete for trophies and try and win tournaments. So definitely motivated to try and kind of recapture those feelings from last year.
We're going behind. Sorry.
Mackenzie, no matter how many times you play a course, these practice rounds can never really be taken for granted. Even though you won here last year, it's still important to come out and check what the conditions are. Just what has been your routine today to make sure that you're getting your game plan ready for Thursday?
Yeah, I think that the way I go around the course, for the most part, doesn't change too much strategy-wise. Getting a feel for the conditions, getting a feel for how the greens are playing, is hugely important. And yeah, that's what I'm using. A 9 holes today was great for that. Just getting a feel for how pitch shots are reacting, speed of the greens. So yeah, it was very valuable, and definitely feeling more comfortable. The more I play out there, but yeah, obviously it's just nice to have the memories I have from years past. Even when I'm playing the course this week, I'm sure some of those things will come to mind pretty easily. So that's always nice to kind of draw back on. And but yeah, the prep's been going well, and feeling good about this week.
You mentioned too, just remembering a lot of those shots from the end of the tournament last year. Just having executed and played so well in a tight situation, just how much does that boost your confidence, moving forward, knowing that you've kind of been in those spots and executed in those spots before?
Yeah, definitely. There's no doubt that's a confidence booster. I've hit some important shots under a lot of pressure and pulled them off. And yeah, you have those forever to draw back on. And if I'm in a similar spot this week, like I said, going back to last year or drawing back on my first victory, I know in those moments, those scenarios, that I can do what's needed to be done. And yeah, that's reassuring. And having 2 wins on the PGA Tour in playoffs, also gives me a bit of confidence, just knowing that when it's needed, I can pull it through.
Just talk about what did you like so much about coming back to this place, and can you draw from past experiences?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things to like. The people here are great. Steve and his team do a great job just making us feel welcome. So that's first and foremost. And then the golf course itself is one that I love. Very easy to kind of just to see with your eyes, look at. It's visually appealing off the tee, and just one that I enjoy looking at and playing. So there's a bunch of different factors. I like the fact that it's a relatively small town, if you will. I mean, so it's not like you're playing in a big city type feel. I came from a small town, so this is something up my alley. So there's a bunch of different factors that I like, and then now that I'm a defending champion of this place, it's one that will always kind of hold a kind of a special place in my heart, I guess, going forward. So I guess for those reasons, this is a place I just love coming to.
Mackenzie, has there been any notable changes or bag changes to your game since you were here last year?
No, really just I've got the new Ping woods in the bag, but other than that, I have the same irons and the same wedges, like fresh wedges, but the same wedges, and so for the most part, everything's basically the same.
Mackenzie, I want to ask you: Did you pay attention to the Ryder Cup? Did you watch much of it? Were you invested in it? How much did you watch?
Yeah, I watched a decent bit of it. I wouldn't say I was invested, but I was definitely keeping a tab on it, watching it fairly closely, and curious to see how that was all playing out. And it was some compelling TV at times.
I think the reason I'm interested is I think in your pool at the match play earlier in the year, you had Spieth, Homer, and Lowry, who all played in the Ryder Cup, and you beat 2 of them and advanced out of your pool. So when you watch the Ryder Cup and knowing that you've had those matches with them, what is that like when you're sitting at home watching that and know that you've contested and beaten those guys?
Yeah, I mean that's fun to think about and fun to discuss. Even I know that those guys are obviously some of the best players in the world, and I knew that when I was playing the match play earlier this year that they were going to be tough to beat, and that advancing out of that pool was going to be tough. But yeah, another thing that kind of another feather in the cap, something that I can always look back on and draw some confidence from is something like that. But yeah, just knowing those guys, I mean, seeing those guys and playing with those guys a bunch, it's you're watching the Ryder Cup with a bit of a different outlook, if you will, because I'm looking at those guys and I've played with all of them, and it's just neat to see them, in that format, because they obviously all come out with a little bit of a different persona or demeanor than when they play on the PGA Tour. Like, you're seeing reactions and emotion that you never really see from some of those guys. So it's definitely a fun thing to watch on TV and to kind of be sort of a part of.
And I should have added Seb Straka to that group too. Essentially, you'd be here in a while.
Yeah.
And just to add on to that, obviously you have the President's Cup in mind. You're one of 4 Canadians that's won on the PGA Tour this season. President's Cup is in Canada next year, or within a year's time, and shorter than that. So, how much is that in your mind while you're playing and moving forward through next year?
Yeah, that's a big part of the next year for me. I think I alluded to it maybe earlier this summer, but that to me would be like the cream of the I don't know. Yeah, that one to me is the biggest one. The Olympics are next summer as well, but having done that once, I would give the President's Cup the nod for me. I was pretty close last time in Charlotte, and that was like, my new hometown, and then I'm going now to my home country next time. So, 2 President's Cups back to back that I've desperately want to be a part of, and my focus will actually be to not try too hard. I think Justin Thomas alluded to this a little bit in the summer when I felt like, he wasn't playing very well, and he kind of alluded to the fact that he wanted the Ryder Cup so bad that it almost felt like a hindrance to him. So I know I'm similar in that sense that, like, I would want the President's Cup probably too badly to a fault, and I need to keep that in check, because while I do want to be a part of that team, it is not life or death, but it would be one of the thrills of my career, and I'll work really hard to do it, and try and be my best for the next 10, 11 months. But I'm gonna have to just keep my expectations and my desires at bay, or just kind of tempered, I guess, if you will.
The Sanderson has one of the more unique trophies in sports. What was that kind of like lifting that last year, and where does it rank in terms of trophies you've gotten to lift in your career?
Yeah, it's definitely up there as far as unique trophies that I've had. I actually, funny enough, I won an amateur tournament when I was 20 years old, I think, and the trophy was actually a giant bear head. So I have a few animal trophies in the house, which is unusual, but I think when my oldest son asked me to win a trophy, he didn't have that one in mind, which I told him I really can't be too specific or too selective with trophies. Whenever they come, we're going to take them when they come. So I think the Rooster's really cool and unique, and it's definitely a fun talking point when we're at home with friends or different people. See the trophy. It's kind of fun to talk about.
Mackenzie, we appreciate your time and your insight. Thanks again, and good luck this week.
All right, thanks, Mark.